Do I have to take the mask
You can
off?
take your mask off.
Okay.
Once again, want to welcome everyone again to the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship postgame press conference featuring Georgia Tech. We'll first hear from Laura, and then we'll hear from Coach Fortner. We're going to give each member of the media a chance to ask a question. If you would, please use the raise your hand function in your window, and you'll be called on. And our first question comes from Steve McGarvin from the Associated Press. Steve, if you would, please unmute yourself, and you can ask your question.
Steve McGarvin from the Associated Press. I was just wondering, how did y'all kind of turn this thing around and just stay off of down 17 at the half? Are we able to turn things around as dramatically as we did?
I mean, hi, Steve. I mean, it was really hard for us. We had to just take up the tempo in defense because we were kind of passive in defense, and I think that was a game changers for us. So, yeah, definitely be more aggressive in defense. Yeah.
Okay, our next question comes from Brandon Sturge. Once again, Brandon, state your name and affiliation.
Hey, this is Brandon Sturge of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Lorella, I kind of wanted to ask you, was there anything said at halftime that kind of changed you guys' mindset or hustle or aggressiveness or anything like that?
The major problem for us in the first two quarters is we were not playing as together. So we were talking about how we needed to stick together, and I feel like it was also like the nerves. This is our first NCAA game, so we just kind of had to, get rid of those, and that's basically what we talked about. Like just play together and just try to play our game. So yeah.
Okay, and we're going to go back. I think we have another question from Steve.
What does it mean for this program? I think it's the first NCAA tournament win since 2012. Just what this means for the program to take this step.
It is really important for us. The last time, as you said, it was 2012. We just want to survive and advance. We just want to get as far as we can and prove that we belong here. So, yeah.
Steve, did you have another question? If not, we'll go back to Brandon.
I do. They didn't score for like the last 5.5 minutes of regulation. Could you sense them getting frustrated there late in the fourth, early in the overtime as y'all kind of started to turn the game around?
Can you repeat the question? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
They didn't score for like the last 5.5 minutes of the fourth quarter, the first few minutes of overtime.
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering, how much could you sense their frustration starting to build there? What you were doing defensively?
I sensed that, of course, because we were the one that that was kind of like our goal. We just were trying to get stops and score. We just had to make it up for the first two quarters, so that was our mentality. And SFA is a really good team, honestly, and we just had to lock in and everything, and they handled the pressure really well because we went to overtime and then we won. But they're a really good team, so yeah.
And I think we have another question from Brandon.
This is actually John Whistler from the San Antonio Express News. Coach Fortner is great. Was he positive throughout the game, even when you were down 17?
Yes, definitely. Of course, she was. She like everybody was kind of down a little bit, but we had to pick it up, and that it starts with her. Sorry, it starts with her. She just like always tried to be positive, and kind of like we followed along with her. We just had to fight back, and she kind of gave us the energy to start coming back in the second half. So yeah, definitely. Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Tell you at halftime to turn the game around.
Kind of like that we had to go hard. That we were not looking like us on the court, so we just had to pick it up, of course, and that we just had to have the willing to fight back because definitely we got we got obviously outscored and out hustled by SFA in the first half. So yeah.
And then also, Arella, if I can ask another one here. So is there any impact on the crowd early on in the game? Because it felt like Stephen F. Austin had like
Um,
90, 98% of the people in attendance. I mean, so is that also something that kind of like set y'all off early on?
Definitely, definitely, because I mean, they were really loud, and it looked like they were the home team. Um, so yeah, definitely, like that was kind of like unexpected for us. But yeah, they were really loud. They were definitely the sixth man for them. So yeah, definitely that kind of played a little of a role. Like we didn't expect that much, but yeah.
We have time for one more question. Are there any other questions from student athletes? Yeah. Go for it, Brandon.
Can you also speak on Naya? Because she had a layup there in overtime and uh, got fouled. I mean, how important was it to have her step up there at the end?
I mean, Anaya is just an amazing player. She made really important plays. She had two clutch free throws at the end of the fourth quarter that made us go overtime, and she just came here to play. And I'm so happy for her because she's really good, and she has proven game after game that she really can contribute a lot to this team. And yeah, I mean, she was really important for us. So yeah, definitely.
That'll do it with all our questions. We definitely thank you for your time. We want to wish you best of luck in your next matchup.
Thank you so much, everybody.
All right, you have a good one.
You too.
We will be joined by Coach Fortner. Please use this time to raise your hand or lower your hand as necessary. And Coach, be up soon. Thank you. Good afternoon, Coach. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
It was a great game.
Oh my God, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was nervous for a minute, like I was playing. First of all, Coach, we'll take opening statement comments about the game. I know it was an exciting one and got close down the stretch, probably closer than you wanted it to be. But we'll start with questions. Opening statement, excuse me.
Yeah, man. Hats off to Stephen F. Austin. They just played a heck of a game, and you know, I know that's a tough one to lose. I thought they played really well, and we were fortunate to come away with a win. But in this tournament, in this NCAA tournament, that first game, that first round game, is always it's such a hard game to win. I don't care what your seed is, what your number is, it does not matter. Everybody's come here with pretty much some fresh legs and big dreams and goals and a hunger to win. So I'm so proud of our kids for how hard we fought back, being 17 down, and just really did a good job of fighting our way back and believing and never giving up. So these kids have never been to the NCAA tournament. It's their first win in this tournament, and I'm really proud of them for it.
Well, Coach, we're going to take a couple of questions from members of the media. And our first question, and once again, we ask members of the media to identify your first, last name, and your affiliation to the question for Coach. And it looks like our first question is from Brandon.
Hey, Brandon.
Hey, Coach. This is Brandon Suggs with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Can you kind of paint the picture for me, like of halftime, how you guys, like the staff, got them to believe again, and then also how important was that opening run there in the third quarter to kind of have a swing in?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I thought we had a good halftime talk, and it was one of, hey, man, we've got 20 minutes left in our season. So we either have to get out there and get this done, and we know that our work is in what lays ahead of us. And we came out, and I thought the press was good to us. It allowed us to cut into that lead in the third quarter and give us some confidence back that we lost in the first half. So, yeah, talking about how we could possibly score a little bit better in the half court, but definitely the press I thought was a difference maker for us, creating some turnovers and really pressuring them into some shots they might not have taken otherwise. So, but that the will to execute that by the players and the leaders on this team was really good.
Okay, our next question comes from Steve McGarvey.
There you go. Steve McGarty, the Associated Press. I was just wondering what this means for y'all's program, that first NCAA tournament win since I believe 2012. Just what kind of step forward for y'all?
Yeah, every NCAA tournament win is important, for any program, and especially one that has we have a team of kids that have never played in the NCAA tournament. So, this is what you do. This is why you work hard in the off season and the preseason, and this is what you want to do: is get to the NCAA tournament, give yourself a chance to win a national championship. And this team has fought hard all year long to get themselves here and to have this experience. And just really, I'm happy for them, but it definitely bodes well for our program. Kids want to, the kids you recruit, you're recruiting high-level kids that want to play at the highest level, and we're proving that we can do that at Georgia Tech.
Looks like we're going to go back to Brandon for the next question.
This is actually John Whistler, male from the Express News in San Antonio. Remember me?
Yeah, I can't quite hear you. You're real kind of muffled.
Okay, take my mask off.
Okay.
Help, wouldn't it? I know this was about the kids, but this is your homecoming, coming back to your home area. What did this win mean to you personally?
Yeah, it's always good. It's always fun coming back to Texas. There's no doubt. But honestly, when it's the NCAA tournament, they could be playing this thing on the moon, because all that matters is how do we get the job done to survive and advance. Certainly, it's been nice to be in Texas, and I see so many familiar things here in San Antonio because I've spent a lot of time down in the downtown area. But as far as anything else goes, look, as long as there's a basketball court wherever we are and we're playing in this tournament. That's all I really think about.
Okay, great. Nice to see you.
Good to be here.
Our next question comes from, looks like Donnie Woods.
Donnie Woods here with World Exposure Report.
Hey, Donnie.
Donnie, I think you're muted. You have to unmute yourself.
I'm sorry. Congratulations on advancing.
Thanks.
Moving on. You're welcome. I know statistically you were 2 for 17 from three-point range, almost 4 players over 40 minutes, and bench points you only had 4. Outside of looking at the statistics, what are some things that you think that you guys need to work on to move past the second round?
Well, we have to shoot the ball better. That's at the end of the day, the ball's got to go through the hole. I think that we play really solid defense, but definitely our shots just weren't falling today. I thought it was a very physical game on both ends of the floor for both teams, and that really affects shooters. It affects how you see your shot, how envision your shot, and taking it. So I think we got a little off track with that, but we were able to make the defensive stops that we needed to make in order to win the game. So, we'll get back at it. We'll figure out what we need to do in the next game to hopefully find better looks at the basket and give ourselves better opportunities to shoot. But today was a tough day at shooting the ball. We're normally not that bad.
Our next question comes from Pepper Presley.
Hey, Pepper.
Hi. With the next hoops. I'm so glad to be talking with you again, Coach. Congrats on the win. Your team had a very gritty performance today. Can you just talk about your team's resilience during this game, especially in the second half and overtime?
That's a great word that you used, Pepper, resilience, because we had to come out of the halftime and really be resilient to what was going on, because we were facing a long tunnel, a deep hole to dig ourselves out of. And boy, a 17-point deficit that's not an easy one to dig yourself out of. So I'm really proud of how tough our kids were today and how hard they played. And they really, I thought, came together and were much more connected in the second half in order to pull that win out. So they were extremely resilient. They listened to their coaches, and we came out with the win.
Thank you, and good luck in the rest of the tournament.
Thanks, Pepper. I'm glad you're covering it.
All right, our next question comes from Emma.
Hi, Emma Baccellieri from Sports Illustrated. I'm curious about how you prepared for this one, given that SFA was kind of a analytical darling, had a lot of strong stats, but they also hadn't really had a chance to play much strong competition or give you any film against, a top tier opponent. So how did you prepare for this with that in mind?
Yeah, that's a great question, Emma, because the longer and the more I watched film on Stephen F. Austin, the better and better and better they looked. This was a very good team. This was, I think, not a 12 seed. I think that they should have been seeded higher than that. But seeding a tournament is hard. So I'm not, it's a tough ordeal. But I thought that they were outstanding, and we knew that coming into the game. I think what we were maybe taken aback with was how physical the game was, and it just got us off balance offensively. And I think that they came in here they put their head down and took it at us, and just really, I think, got us back on our heels at the beginning of the game, and then to the tune of a 17-point deficit. So, fortunately, we play in a tough conference, and fortunately, that's not the first time we've been down and had to come back. So I can't remember exactly the deepest deficit we've had in this season, but I know we've come back on several occasions from deficits and won the game. So we had experience with that. But Stephen F. Austin was a formidable opponent, and I'm just happy to come out with the win.
Okay, we have time for two more questions. Looks like next up is Brandon again.
Hey, Coach, I want to ask you about Anaya. So, can you take me into the decision there to put her in the game at the end? So I was looking at her minutes log, and she hadn't really played all that much for you guys. And then, how important was her moment there to get that layup in overtime?
Well, they were huge. Her minutes were huge. I'm looking, 11 and a half minutes? Naya, she's a freshman, and she's dealt with some injuries this year, so she hasn't had the opportunity to really get into any kind of a flow or get a lot of minutes just to find her way as a freshman. But when we have put her into games, she has been a difference maker. And it might only be 6 minutes or 8 minutes. Today, 11 and a half minutes. But her minutes always tend to be extremely valuable and difference making. So I have a lot of confidence putting her in. She's very, very competitive. She's got a nice natural feel for the game. So she really came through for us today. I'm really proud of her.
There seems to be no more questions for Coach. Coach, once again, we want to thank you for your time. Congratulate you again on the win. Georgia Tech will play the winner of the West Virginia Lehigh game. That game will take place this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPNU. Coach, again, congrats and good luck the rest of the way.
Okay, thanks a lot, everybody.
Yes, ma'am. Once again, for members of the media, thanks again for joining the postgame news conference. The recording of this press conference will be posted in the NCAA Digital Media Hub. Thank you.